Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Burgers with Eric podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Burgers with Eric podcast. My name is Stephen James, your host. To my right is the Airbnb king of South Florida, Eric Weingart. What up? What's up, baby? What's up? Episode 10, and we have a special guest today, Nathan V from Brooklyn. Welcome, James. How you doing, man?
Good. Nice Florida weather. It's not raining today, so it's always good.
It's tremendous, baby. It's every day. So, guys, episode 10, what we're going to cover today, a little bit of life hacks. We gave Nathan some homework.
Yeah, definitely did.
Real successful young guy. How old are you?
22 years old.
22 years old. Out there killing it from Brooklyn, moving down to South Florida shortly. We're going to go over some life hacks that successful people use, at least what we've used in our lives to either streamline some success or, shorten up some high effort things. We're going to do a little bit of, we're going to pick up where we left off last episode and get into that whole Target fiasco. Cover some sports TMZ. What else you want to talk about today?
We just had an interesting conversation off.
Yeah,
we got to talk about. He called himself a bad Jew, and I want to figure out why he's a bad Jewish kid.
Yeah,
I think it's because I just don't fit all the norms of like Judaism. Like I never prayed or went to synagogue. For a long time in my life, I was eating pork, and I only stopped eating pork because I watched this documentary about how pigs are dirty and nasty, and so that's why I stopped eating pork, not because of religious reasons. And every time I'm with some friends or something, they're like, "You don't eat pork because you're Jewish?" And I was like, "No, I just don't eat pork because it's disgusting."
Gross. Yeah,
right. But what's the tattoo thing you guys?
Yeah. So hold on, let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. Yeah. So my two best friends down here are Jewish, right? And my one buddy Ryan was on episode 2, and he's an Iron Man, and he's got the Iron Man logo tattooed on his leg. I'm like, "Oh, you're not," and I'm aware of the whole Jewish tattoo thing. I'm like, "Oh, you're not going to get buried in a Jewish cemetery." He's like, "Dude, it's an old wives' tale. My parents were like, no, we just told you that so you wouldn't fuck your body up," and so on and so forth. But Nathan, prior to the show, was like, "No, it's real. Tell us what you know."
In my family, I feel like the only people who have ever had tattoos are grandparents, great-grandparents who are Holocaust survivors. And I'm one of the very few people in my whole entire family, and I still have to hide it, not for my parents, but for my grandparents. They think it's horrible, because it gives them the memory of the Holocaust and stuff like that. But I think it was either somebody in my family, when they were buried, they actually had to cut the tattoo off.
When was that?
That was 2008.
Or is this a story they're telling you?
No.
Did you witness it?
I didn't witness the cutting off. I was 9 years old.
Damn.
I was 9 years old, but at the funeral, I know it happened, but no, I don't know how they do that.
So wait, hold on a second. I'm all about trust but verify, baby. You were 9? And that's the story. Yeah. See, it's not.
That's Nathan, some Santa Claus stuff.
It's not fucking real, bro.
But there's no way. If it was just a story, it's been way too long for it to just be a story.
That's the fucking lie, dude. Santa Claus, bro. He's right. The Easter Bunny. Yeah. I think Ryan is right. You might be right. Dude, I don't know. I'm not Jewish.
No, I don't know either. I'm not one to speak on it.
I think it depends on how serious the actual cemetery is, right? So,
Hasidic
of course, the Hasidic Jewish cemeteries, they're very by the book.
Yeah,
and
I'll
stuff
buy
like
that. I'll buy that.
But maybe for regular Jewish people, I mean,
I don't know.
I think you're a good Jew. I think you're a good Jew.
I think I'm a good Jew too.
Good Jew. All right. So Nathan, what do you use for life hacks, bro? Give me a couple things that you that you that feels like cheating. You know what I'm saying?
Everyday work hacks, life hacks, and just in general work, AI's been blessing for me.
Yeah.
There's so many different softwares that we use, and it just streamlined a lot of the process. I showed you ManyChat right before this, that.
Are you familiar with that?
Not ManyChat, no.
It's an automated DM sequence where you just talk to people through the DMs and stuff like that.
This is what we were talking about, automating everything. I just didn't know the software.
So I wouldn't even call it so much of a a life hack, but it's just an automation. And a lot of people who've used to work in the company are now not in the company anymore because why would I pay somebody to do it when I can pay a software who can do it twice as fast and
just as good,
if not better than the way they're doing it now. There's a lot of softwares and stuff with editing videos and stuff like that where I still believe that a human touch is better than anything else. And you won't be able to automate that for a long, long time. But for now, a lot of simple tasks have just been automated. And it's stuff that used to take me hours before, it takes me minutes now.
Yeah, we talked about that on the other podcast, man. I rarely write an email creative anymore. I'll take one, maybe that inboxed, right? If it inboxed, I'll bring it over to ChatGPT. And again, man, you've been using way more things than I have, but I'll say, hey, just rewrite this, right? And it just spits it right out in 12 seconds.
I do that for all my ad creatives for all my e-commerce companies.
Yeah.
I literally I tell ChatGPT what the product is.
Yeah.
I literally run it through everything, and then I go, tell me ad creatives, and even tell me the angle of which you want to film the ad creative. And it'll literally say like narrate, boom, he says this. Angle, this wide angle, pan from below to above. Like it says all of that.
So do you remember when we were shooting the sweepstakes video?
Yeah, of course.
Remember you kept getting tripped up on Eric?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
right,
course,
because I told ChatGPT, write me this pitch doing this, and this. The more specific you get with AI, yes, it might take you a little bit longer to write the command prompt, but dude, it's going to give you everything. Like, dude, it even gave it, and I edited all that stuff out before we ended up shooting. But it was like, here's the scene, here's the right. Yeah. So it's mind blowing stuff.
And that's the biggest limitation that it has. It's what we can tell it.
Correct.
If we can tell it more in depth and talk to it more, it will just go longer and longer. Its limitation is what you ask it, and 99% of the population is asking just stupid questions.
Stuff. Right.
So they're not getting the return. Like, how do I make money online? Yeah. That's the number one question searched on ChatGPT, actually.
You come see Uncle Steve.
You get like stupid answers. But if you take it seriously and give it long, in-depth questions explaining, it will do so much.
Like a full paragraph of question.
Yeah. And just recently, I don't know if you saw that, it can now browse the internet.
No, I didn't.
Yep. Dude, there's a feature you can flip a switch and it can now browse the internet.
Oh, ChatGPT?
Yep. It can now browse the internet.
So what's the advantage to that?
It can search the internet.
Find me.
Oh, wow.
Find me the best price on Florida Panthers Stanley Cup game 3 and 4. I bet it can. That's simple, bro. It's nothing.
And so many businesses have been launched just from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I mean, we worked with a company that did stock picking from ChatGPT, and like gave it all the forms, gave it all the sheets, taught it, and people are naming it like Hustle GPT and stuff like that, and just building big businesses from it.
And because it'll rewrite and optimize the code you give it.
Exactly.
So it's stupid, man. I told you, we talked about this before.
No.
I gave it a simple exit page script. I said, here, rewrite this. I was like, but it goes, we don't need this line, we don't need this line, and we don't need this line. Just throw them out.
Did you see that? And this was probably about a month ago, and you may not have seen this. Did you see the AI song that they basically mimicked Drake and who was the other artist? The Weeknd's voice. Oh. Have you seen that?
No, I heard about it though.
And
I didn't see it.
First of all, it sounds pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Number two, now it's trending on TikTok. So what I'm seeing is that a lot of influencers are actually using that sound.
Okay.
And it's an AI generated voice and song, and it's kind of fire.
That's great. So that's the fun, positive. Hey, this is great.
Yeah.
The negative is, dude, it generated a picture of a bomb going off at the Pentagon. The stock market's lost like $1 billion in 20 minutes. Then they figured out it was fake and it all came back up.
Yeah.
Like nobody knows what's real.
Who's going to know what the hell's real or not?
It's crazy.
I don't think Kanye West is real, by the way.
Oh, you think he's an NPC?
Dude, have you seen pictures of him recently? I don't think he's real. No. He went off the tangent on all these things, and I think he was really speaking out about truth. And sure, he comes off a little crazy, but I think they want to make him look crazier than he is.
Sure.
Dude, look at recent pictures of Kanye. He looks like a damn AI generated. Like I don't even think he's a real person. I think these are just photoshopped like AI pictures of Kanye West.
That's insane.
Yeah.
All right, Eric. Give me what's your favorite life hack? What's your favorite little tip?
Well, when I think of life hacks, like, and I, if we looked up the definition, we might get varying opinions between us.
Yeah.
So when I go to life hack, I almost think of like a behavioral thing or almost like a ritual thing, like, right? That's kind of how that's how I think of it, right? My thing is this, dude, and it's pretty simple. It's like if you have, I know so many people that procrastinate big stuff, right? And I see a lot of people that end up failing because they just, I don't know, it's not that they don't show initiative, but I almost see them stress and, worry more than they take action. And you know what I've realized the best thing to do is, like, if you make a to-do list, we all usually make to-do lists, right? And I usually write them out, okay? So let's say I have a to-do list of 8 different things. You know how I tackle them?
Most difficult first.
Most fucking difficult first. And I get it out of the way. And if it's at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. or 7 a.m. or whatever it is. So once I eliminate those worrisome individual tasks, dude, the rest of the day is easy. And I think a lot of people, and this took me until probably 25 to do, but dude, I do not procrastinate. I fucking tackle shit, right, babe? I'm like, oh, something comes up. I'm like, oh, I'm taking care of this right now.
No, for real though, you two are some of the hardest working people I've ever met.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
Like truthfully, I'm not just saying that to fluff your balls, pal. It's pretty interesting stuff.
It's pretty ingrained.
Yeah, no, I do the same thing. And I'll find myself sometimes when I don't make one, and I know I have all this fucking shit. I got to pay that bill. I got to do this for work. I got to do all this stuff, right? Mostly in here. But I find when I open just a notepad on my computer, because I got the 3 monitors set up, right? And I leave the to do over here, bro. I crush it, and then it's done, and then I'm like, oh fuck, now what?
Yeah, I write mine on a whiteboard. Like I literally write it on a whiteboard because I see it all the time. It hangs above my desk or whatever, and that always seeing it makes me do it faster. And I also do this thing. It's the 2-minute rule. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. Any task that takes me less than 2 minutes to do, or I think takes me less than 2 minutes to do, I do it as soon as it comes up.
Oh, so you go the opposite of Eric. You do the quicker stuff first.
Exactly. Yeah. But the way that you think of 2-minute rule is, right, a lot of people don't understand what 2 minutes actually is, right?
It's a long time. Like we've only been talking for 11.
Exactly. You know? Oh, I have to take out my laundry. That's a 2-minute task that somebody will procrastinate the whole day. Oh, I have to send 5 emails. I could do that in 2 minutes, but somebody will procrastinate that because they think that is such a big thing to do. But really, if you just, oh, is that going to take me 2 minutes? Yeah, it's going to take me 2 minutes. So let me do it right now.
Yeah, just bang it, get it out the way. So the whiteboards, I use whiteboards for product development. So instead of, it's kind of like a mind map, right? For me, it's a sick game that only I understand how to play. Like, so even if you saw it, you'd be like, what the fuck is that? You're a smart kid, man. You'd probably pick it up. But
my whiteboard looks crazy too.
Yeah, it's just the ramblings of madness that only we know. But no, I find that mapping stuff manually on a whiteboard, and it's still there. If you go, you haven't been to my house in a minute, but the whole sweepstakes offer is just mapped out in green. The whole thing.
Oh, you sent pictures before.
Fucking arrows and and crosses and check marks and shit all over the place. But no, that's a good one, man. So mine, you guys talked on, maybe like a little productivity in business, but generally speaking, right? Maybe I guess I'm addressing anyone here. And again, these are just my opinions, right? So my fitness journey began, I would say, April of 22, something like that. And I started my fitness journey at LA Fitness, like most people do, right? Why? Well, it's cheap. B, it was right next to my house. And C, it was a big. They have a lot of equipment, right? What I've noticed, what ended up happening, guys, and this is why I opened my eyes to it, was, I got like MRSA on one of my knees. Right now, I know it sounds fucking crazy, but dude, you don't get like a goofy ass weeping rash on the top of your leg. Well, think about it, right? If you're doing dumbbell presses, what do you do to get that shit ready?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah,
you set it on your knees, right? So I got that, and I'm like, fuck, that's disgusting. Like I put some whatever on it, and it ended up going away. But then I started really, really looking at the level of filth and dead skin cells and like glitter and all kind of shit, rust all over the machines and all the stuff. And I'm sitting back and looking at it like this is not worth doing, right? And there's like roving gangs of teenagers like leaving weights and shit all over the place. Yeah. Just absolutely disgusting, right? I mean, this is my particular LA Fitness. I can't speak on any other ones, right? So then I go and I make the switch, and I was like, you know what? This is disgusting. Let me go take a look at Pure Life and Del Rey.
So more higher end gyms.
Right, more higher end gyms. And then Lifetime was the other one that I looked at in Boca, right? And, how much is this? They're like, it's $138 a month or whatever for Pure Life. And I'm like, no question, go ahead. Right, and here's my observations, right? So my observations are, when I go to Pure Life, I feel like I'm around a better class of person. Right. It's a lot older. I see very few college age kids there, holidays and stuff. You'll see some, but I walk into that gym. I know what everything is. It's spotless. It's clean. It runs efficiently. All the equipment works. There's no rust on anything. And I just feel more productive with my workout. I'm in and out faster. I don't feel disgusted. I'm around, frankly, like-minded people, man. I ran into a guy who makes $1 million a month. You know, there's Porsches in the parking lot. You know, exotic cars, all kinds of stuff in our parking lot. So I guess my point is this. The whole point to that was, my life hack is, if you aren't spending at least $50 to $100 a month on your gym,
spend more.
Yeah, because think about it, right? I don't give a fuck if you have $20 billion, bro. If you're sick and broken and you can't even get out of bed, what the fuck good is that money?
I mean,
right?
it's the inevitable loop.
Right.
People chase money and then they get sick, and they chase money and they get sick, and it's just a never-ending loop.
Millionaire
you
wants...
You need health and wealth at the same time.
Millionaire wants a million things. Sick man wants one.
So true.
So prioritize that, right? Of course. If you're going to invest in your health, well, invest in a positive, healthy, awesome environment, right? So that's my life hack, right? And again, my opinion, people watching, you guys might love your LA Fitness. I don't know. I haven't been to all of them in the United States, but what I'm telling you is
some new clean ones.
Right. Try it. In your town, in your city,
maybe it's good.
Find a more exclusive gym, and you'll find that you're more productive, you're healthier, you get a better workout. And that's my opinion. And again, you never know who you're going to meet around more affluent people, right? So again, it goes to the car scene, and this was my second one, was don't spend more than 10% of your income on your vehicle, right? A lot of the problems that we're having right now in this country with debt is because you're buying a fucking $80,000 car on a $50,000 a year salary. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're out of your mind, right? Okay, go lease the Kia. Go lease the Hyundai. Make it look nice. Polish the fucking thing, right? Spend, if you're making $5,000 a month, do not spend more than $500 a month on a car payment, and you can find some tremendous vehicles.
That's a good number to go by the way.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, so, but put it in perspective, right? So when we were printing the $10,000 a day, when we're really killing it, you know, the 30 grand down for a McLaren, $300,000 car was nothing. Yeah. It was nothing. So what? That's 3 days worth of income. So what?
Yep.
You know, I was spending less than 1% of my exposable income on an exotic. Well, things, slowed down. I ended up selling that, got into some stuff that I really was passionate about. The point is, don't be poor, don't be car poor.
Or mortgage poor. Or you could argue that too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what's the, sorry to cut you off,
you're good.
What's the idea of like spending money, right? Because I think a lot of people, when they don't have money, their idea of spending money is, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. At this point, at least in my life, I'm 22 years old. There's not a significant amount of money that I could spend on something that will bring me real happiness. It'll bring me momentary joy, getting the new car, getting another watch, getting some nice clothes and stuff like that. But it's all so temporary. And the one thing that everyone wants in their life, like happiness, money cannot buy. But you can't say that unless you've made a lot of money already.
Correct.
You can't be broke and be, I'm happy because I don't have. Once you've made it, you understand that like no matter what you buy, it gives you momentary joy. Going to the club, popping a bottle, like, that's so cool. The next morning, you still wake up and you still have all your own personal problems to deal with.
So I have an interesting perspective on that, right? Because again, you're 1,000% correct. But now, after, being a self-made millionaire for almost a decade, I could write books about things that I've done. Nothing excites me anymore. Like, I don't care. Could I go buy a McLaren today? Yeah, but I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fucking mean anything. Right. My Hublot watches, right? Fucking $30,000 watches. I don't care. I've sold them because it doesn't fucking mean anything. And guess what? Here's the other side of it. Because I know my value as a friend and as a human and in business, right? So I know my value. I understand it. If you want to be friends with me because I drive an exotic car or have a gold $30,000 watch on my wrist, fuck you, man. Do you understand what I'm saying? Look, bro, that's cool. That's cool. That's you. If you like that, great.
Oh, just so you know,
my
it's
point
strictly
is,
for marketing.
Of course. What I've realized is none of it matters.
Of course.
None of it. The big giant house, all of this shit. Temporary pleasure, but long term, you're still the same person. Be comfortable with your value, and all of a sudden, you don't have to fill the void with stuff, right?
So we're obviously a different, we're literally 20 years ahead of you, right? And dude, just so you know, I did not think like you at 22. At 22 years old, I was an animal, but I did do some financially responsible things, right? So I guess I'm talking to the young men and women out there. Do you know what I did with my car, bro? I had my buddies called it my Ford Exploder. I had a Ford Explorer. I paid it off by the time I was 26. And that's right around when I started making six figures, right? And in 2006, 7, that was kind of a decent amount of money, right? Started making maybe 150, close to $200,000 at that age. And I kept driving that vehicle. So what I was doing was delaying gratification. I was like, I'm not going to fucking buy the BMW or the Mercedes or whatever. And I drove that thing, bro, till I was 32 years old, man.
Yeah.
And I was making $250,000 a year, driving a Ford Exploder. And there was a little bit of like, oh, you know, like when
Lifestyle
you see
inflation, like a little bit.
Well, no, what I mean like this is that like I'd see people out, and you know, part of like being successful is, you know, people's, I don't want to say opinions of you, but
Perception.
Yeah, a perception and status, right? And you know, there was a lot of, oh, maybe Eric's full of shit, you know, maybe he's not really the shit, but I was the man. I'd worked my way up. I was the vice president already in a marketing company. But I will say this: when I finally bought a BMW and I got my first BMW, and I didn't even buy the 7 Series, I bought the 5 Series. It was exciting.
Yeah,
it was very exciting,
Yeah.
and I was financially able to do it in a very comfortable way. I think where people get in a lot of trouble is like, you know, one of my friends right now, you know, he's got this car payment and he's in his 20s and, you know, he's in debt, and it's like,
it's just so dumb.
you know, you
But
could really get ahead with it with a low car payment and low
Of course.
Well,
spending
look, the
in
car,
your 20s.
your vehicle is the worst thing you can buy.
But I feel like that's also the first thing that people buy when they
Yes.
start making money. When they
Correct.
first buy, like start making some real money, they're like, I'm gonna go and get a nice car.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not about, because if you think about it, right? How easy is it to buy a nice car compared to putting down 30 grand for a nice watch, or putting down a down payment on a property?
Yeah.
To get a nice car, you just proof of income, decent credit, they'll give you a loan on anything,
anything, right.
on anything.
So
And that's
true.
where most people, this idea that like online with the matrix and being stuck in it, it's all about debt.
Yep.
That's what it is. Because once you get caught in that debt, there's no freedom.
Stuck.
You have to keep paying it off and finding ways to pay it off, and that's where people get behind, is the debt.
Yep.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Now, you start making a little bit of money. You don't have to drive a hoopty, you know, but you don't need to go.
Yeah. A lot of my friends even tell me, like, I dress super conservatively. Like, I
just-
don't. Yeah.
I'll wear this all day long.
Exactly. I dress like super conservatively, and people are like, well, if you have this money, like, why not spend it? And like, I spend it on things, but like, I don't need to, like, these are like blue pants. white
Listen,
shirt,
what you just explained is
Yeah.
why when you're 35 and you're sitting on 30 million and they're still making 30 grand a year, you're just going to be like, this is why I didn't buy the Gucci and the Louis and all that shit.
But I think
poor person's mind.
all those people think that like when they get rich, they're gonna buy the Gucci, buy the Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Like that is such brand, big logos and all that stuff. That's people who want to look rich. Those aren't the people who are actually
Correct.
rich. I mean, I've been at tables with people 10, 20, 30 million, and they're not wearing this stuff. They don't care if somebody knows that they have money or not.
Nope.
You know what I mean? They're buying things because they enjoy them, not because everyone else sees
You
it.
want to hear this, dude? I was dying. So I was talking with this person who sells. I'm not going to tell their names, but they sell very high end boats and yachts, right? So this individual sells them at, you know, like Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, Miami Boat Show, and some of these are mega yachts, right?
Check this out. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
You're
go
good.
ahead, go
Do
ahead.
you know what this dude flat out told me? He goes, "You want to know what people we actually go talk to?" He goes, "Us as salespeople know that the guy with the Rolex, the guy with the, you know, Louis Vuitton shoes, right? I'm talking about myself, unfortunately. You know, those guys coming in, and no, I can't afford one of those boats. They actually don't even approach them. They said the guys that come in, the most stressed down and almost the most homely looking, they approach because they know they have the. They might have
Listen,
the
that's
100 mil.
very exclusive to here.
Yeah.
That's exclusive to
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Right? I've said this before on this podcast. You could be standing next to a billionaire at Publix and have no idea.
So true.
Listen to this. 61%, according to Forbes, 61% of wealthy people actually drive Hondas, Toyotas, and Fords, just like the rest of us. Look, that's
so true.
households that make more than $250 a year. So think about that. If you're not making $250,000 a year, why?
Why do you have a BMW?
Right.
Well, if you go, so like, let's say, so where we live, you know, Boca and Delray, this is like, Boca might as well, it's like Beverly Hills, right? This is super pristine. There's major money here,
Yeah.
okay? So if you drive down some of these really exclusive neighborhoods and some of these homes, let's say they're 10 million plus, and there's $30 million homes here, right? No bullshit. You drive down the street and we take like our little golf cart moke thing. Dude, even the cars in those driveways are Priuses, Hondas.
I mean, they have other cars, but yeah, those are the ones they use on a day-to-day basis.
Right. Well, no, don't get me wrong. You know, every sixth house you'll see the crazy car.
The Porsches.
But I would say that 75 to 80% of them, it just shows you that that's their financial mindset. And that's probably what got them there in the first place.
Now, I don't know what you drive, but I've seen your cars in the driveway. Are we really in a position to talk about this? Like not having nice cars and stuff like that? Like you have nice cars. I drive an S5. Like,
right. I have an SQ5.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So like,
but I would argue. So I let her drive the Range Rover.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, I don't know. I like putting my little baddie in a Range Rover, and then, you know how we do. And then,
oh my God.
But then, that's too funny, but it's true. And then, but then my truck, I just drive a pickup. And it's a nice pickup truck. But I'm a big dude. No, it's a GMC Denali. But you know, it's a $70,000 truck. You know, but I don't need. Yeah.
Right, my truck, my little SUV is $68,000.
Yeah,
but you just downgraded.
You're also
I
in a position,
downgraded.
Yeah, you're in a position where you can afford those things and where it's not going to put a dent in your pocket. While most people are chasing the rich lifestyle and want to look rich.
Correct. Here's the other hack with it. Lease the fucking thing.
Yep.
Lease it. If it flies, floats, or fucks, you rent it.
Yeah.
That's the funny, goofy thing, right? Exactly. But look, at the end of the day, most people don't understand how leases actually work. Right?
Like renting a portion of the vehicle, basically.
Right, but so when for anybody watching that doesn't know, this is my extent of my knowledge on it. When you sign the contract, they have what's called a residual number, right? Yep. So all that means is when your lease is up, that's what they'll give you for that car. Here's a good case in point. My wife drives a Lexus GX 460, the big Lexus. It's the second to largest Lexus that they made at the time. It was 21. We leased it 3 years ago before the kids were born. Residual number was like, I think it was like $31,000. Okay. Well, since then, the used car market's going fucking crazy. So now what's happening is because the miles are so low, we didn't go over the mileage limit. They were going to give us $46,000 for that truck, which means I have almost plus $14,000 in equity just leasing it. So what does that mean, right? For the normal people. Now what you can do is you're effectively leasing that car from that company. You now have $14,000 to put down on a brand new one that has a similar residual value. Now there's rates and all that stuff that I don't fully understand, but you could also just give it to them and they'll write you a fucking check for $14,000. It's not just turning the truck in.
And I think the point that we're trying to make is, and to answer what you were saying, Nathan, is it's never overextend. So it's like, you know, I'm established at 43 years old. Dude, I didn't buy a $100,000 vehicle till 4 or 5 years ago, you know? So it's the person that's 25, they're making $100,000 and they get into a $100,000 car. You see what I'm saying? It's totally irresponsible. So if you're worth $10 million, it's not irresponsible to buy a damn McLaren at all.
No, of course.
Right? Especially if you're a car enthusiast and that genuinely makes it, like, I'm not a car enthusiast like that. He's a big car buff guy. Yeah. But, you know, to me, that wouldn't make me that happy. But to someone who's wanted a McLaren their entire life, dude, go ahead and get it as long as you're...
Listen. Warren Buffett drives a 2014 Cadillac XTX. Okay? The guy's worth $300 billion.
Awesome.
If he can drive one of those, then you can definitely drive
but he's got someone probably driving him.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he does, bro.
It probably has a rotating seat in the back that, like...
that's Michael Jordan. That's Michael Jordan's Range Rover, dude. Shaq's.
Did I tell you that story real quick?
Which one?
Random story, totally off topic, but her and I, our Range Rover needed a little bit of work. So we took it. He gave us a referral to this body shop or car repair guy, whatever the heck he is.
Uncle Vinny.
Vinny, yeah, shout out, cool dude. And we pull up, and he's like, hey, you guys know who's? He had a nice ass Range Rover there. You could tell it was custom. And we were like, wow, that's fucking beautiful. He goes, yeah, it's Michael Jordan's Range Rover. I go, no shit. He opened it up. We took some pictures with it, dude. The back seat literally rotated around to the back, and it had like a little office for him. So, like, it was
life hack.
I wonder how much he spent on that.
But a lot, I'm sure.
He gets a new custom one every year, so he always has the model every year.
That's absolutely.
It's like, here's the other thing too. Michael Jordan doesn't drive his vehicle to Vinny.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's got his
and then
underlings.
Uber back home.
Yeah. Hey man, just for MJ, don't fuck it up. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, if at that level, are you really driving any car unless it's like yours and you want to have a good time in a nice car? Like they don't. For them, it's saving time, and driving for them is a risk, a liability. They'd rather sit in the back and text whoever they need to text to handle their business.
100%. Time is your most valuable commodity.
Of course.
Listen, let's talk about some financial hacks, right? Because I saw, and Eric, this is more for you. And if you got anything, brother, let me know. So one of the things that I saw on Instagram the other day, and it was really very interesting. You can take $100,000, right? And down here, this is kind of crazy to do. You need probably $500,000 to pull this off.
Okay.
The median home price in Palm Beach County is like what, $562,000 or something like that. Yep. Some crazy number. So if you got $500,000 laying around, don't go buy the $3 million house with that. Okay, take that $500,000, put $100,000 down on 5 properties. Okay, finance the rest. You rent them all. Yes, you're going to make less on each because you're financing it. You're not paying cash for the property. But what happens is, because the properties are appreciating so quickly down here, dude. I literally signed the closing documents on my little investment property in West Palm Beach today. Dude, I'm netting $38,000. I'm walking away with $38,000 cash in less than 12 months, and I made $24,000 renting the fucking thing. That was like a 25% return on investment.
Just a little
$250,000
$250,000 place too.
Really?
Correct. Yeah, a little $200K. I paid $200,000.
Are you Airbnbing it or just
No, I could. We'll talk off camera about why I was selling the fucking thing. But so now you have 5 income streams. Now this goes back to your car is a depreciating asset. It's not an asset. It doesn't make money. It doesn't cash flow. It just fucking spends. That's all it does.
Right.
Okay. So you take $500,000. 5 properties, $100,000 a piece down on them, rent them. This is now positive cash flow. Okay. Your appreciation is going up. Wait 12 months to 24 months. Collect all that rent. Cash out refi. Now you take all of that money off of those 5 and you fucking do it again.
Right.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Well, so let me ask you this. What is your, and I'm not challenging it, but what is your reasoning for suggesting not to buy the $2.5 million house?
Just because now you have 5 assets appreciating at the same rate that $2.5 million house appreciates.
Yep.
Okay. Again, it's all you
but
have
maybe
to,
not.
Well, maybe
But
not.
maybe not.
Maybe you're right. Maybe not. You're the guy. I don't know.
No. So here's something.
Yeah. What's your take on it?
So this is this area, and babe, tell me if you disagree.
Okay, but in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay, Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay.
Right. Okay, there you go.
Right.
There you go.
Like let's take ourselves out of South Florida for a second.
Well, we're for the Florida men, though.
Florida man. Right. But again.
Yeah.
Okay. So just take that example and tell me why that works. Take South Florida out of the equation.
Yeah. So I would argue this. That properties today, regardless of where you are, the more expensive the property, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means it's in a desirable area, right? So it means it's in a lucrative area, desirable area, a marketable area. And I would almost argue that the hassle of finding 5 properties and the effort versus the one,
Finding
it's
one
a
good
lot of work. Yeah. And what I've personally seen in my investing is that I'm seeing more appreciation in luxury. And the reason why I like Steve, and not to tell people out there who haven't gotten into real estate investing, but if there is an imminent challenging financial time, then guess what people aren't getting financially dinged? The people in the luxury market versus people in the lower income.
That's a good hedge in the real estate game. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the reasons I strictly came down to Florida. One, I know they would remain open for business during COVID. Yeah. And number 2, I see all the money flow here. So I don't know. I'm kind of along the lines. Like, we sold a couple places. Like, we bought one for $400,000, sold it for $900,000. We bought one at $350,000. We sold it for $650,000. I mean, we made $800,000 on 2 properties. And the properties that we have, just so you know, that are performing better are the luxury.
Yeah. No. So there's a medium home price in Palm Beach County, Florida is $550,000. So $100K is not even 20%.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
See, I would argue you could buy the $2.5 million place.
Yeah.
And I know, and
yeah.
we're talking to different people on this podcast,
Correct.
right? So,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But wouldn't you say it's good to have a variety of both? So like I worked with some big real estate investors, and they had multi-unit properties, 60 units in Philadelphia, but then they also had luxury property in New York and in Florida.
So are you saying diversification in terms of region?
Yeah.
In terms of region?
No, in terms
Is that
of
what you mean?
like what actual assets you own. So they had, like I said, in New York we call them Section 8 properties, and then they would also have luxury apartments.
So here's what's real. So this is, I did a post about this the other day. So this is shocking. The average mortgage in this country right now is $2,700. Dude, that's high. I don't care what. Oh, that's extremely high. To us, no, but to people in Des Moines, Iowa, in Elkhart, Indiana, $2,700. Dude, I talked to a kid in Owensboro, Kentucky, the other day. Yeah. His mortgage is $1,000. So to him, $2,700 is
mind blowing.
Is outrageous, right? But the average expectation for rent is $1,850. So this is my challenge with what you and I know they're feeling this. That spread is the biggest spread in American history.
What's that?
The average mortgage versus average rent.
Oh, wow. Okay.
$2,700 versus $1,800. Yeah. So the challenge is with diversifying. This is the scary part about diversifying is like, it might be a bigger risk to diversify today.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Here, it makes way more sense because look, $2.5 million house in Long Lakes.
Yep.
Okay. In Boca. $500,000 down. Financing 2Ms. What's 2Ms going to cost you? What?
20,
12. About 12 in P&I.
I'd be curious. I think it's probably a little higher, but with 7.7.
Okay, but you're renting that $2.5 million house for $20,000.
Easy,
right? And you only have one fucking tenant to deal with. You're not getting stupid phone calls all day long. So
actually, just so you know what I would actually do, and I don't know if I'm answering your question or anything. I have no idea. Actually, what I would do is buy what we're actually seeing the sweet spot here is 1.25 to 1.5 million. Would you agree? That's kind of the sweet spot? Yeah. Because what we're finding is that like I have a real close friend of mine looking at places down here right now, and he's looking at like $2.5 million. I don't even want to say his name, blow up the spot. But he's looking at places that are $2.5 million, and I'm running the numbers, and he wants a place that he can stay in, but he also wants to make money on Airbnb. He's from Rochester. Yeah. The money that those properties are bringing in, believe it or not, aren't more than the $1.5 million properties. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's because it's about square foot, bedrooms, and bathrooms.
It's crazy. Yeah. So you're almost better off getting, I would argue, 2 at 1.25.
Than 1 at 2.
Yeah.
And then there's more room for appreciation. Exactly. We were looking at stuff in Tierra del Rey. Yeah. Bro, $2.5 million house. I think it's fucking crazy. It's 11,000 square feet. They bought it in 2019 for 1.4. I'm sorry, they're selling it for 3, not 2.5. It's 3. 3 million flat. Yeah, they bought it in 19 for 1.47 million. 100% markup in what is that? 4 years? That's insane. And they'll get it, bro. They'll get it. I know. They'll get it.
People are buying here like hotcakes. Everything's being bought up. I mean, even from.
Oh, sorry, Harv. Oh shit, I'm sorry, brother.
It's all good. I'll take it out for a little. So a lot of money has flown down here from New York, and
sorry, Nate.
You're good. I'm just taking over for you for a second.
Yeah,
Nate,
no.
get your
what
shit
I was
together.
saying is like, I can't.
So Harvey laid on it, and I'm like, bro, get off of that.
Do you like Harvey, by the
No,
way?
I love him. I love him.
Okay.
No.
Go ahead.
No, but what I was saying is I came down here like 3 years ago when I was first originally coming down to move here, and the prices were half of what they are right now, if not even less.
Yeah.
And now I'm coming down here, and it's still cheaper than New York, so why wouldn't I?
Right, and that's why you
see what he just said? Still cheaper than
Of course.
That's absurd.
Yeah. No, that's why we see all New York and New Jersey license plates down here now.
Yeah.
Dude. It's nuts.
No, yeah, because my apartment, I wouldn't consider it luxury in any aspect. It's a regular apartment. It's $2,400 a month.
Yeah.
I have nothing included, no utilities, no community, no gym, no nothing. So realistically, on my own living expenses, not including food, because I don't cook, I eat out every day. I'm spending like $3,000. So what can I get down here for $3,000? I was on the Avenue. I was on Worthing Place. It's like the nicest place. I can get a 2-bedroom for $2,800 a month with the gym, with the pool.
Guess what, pal?
Yeah.
All your income, 0 state tax. If you're in New York,
a big thing.
If you're making more than $1 million, bro, it's another 8.5% off your hair. Bro,
It's absurd.
Just moving from the state of New York, not even New York City.
Yeah.
You probably pay fucking city tax too, don't you?
Tax, yeah.
That's insane. How much is it? It's like it's another 2.7, isn't it?
I think no more 3.1. I think it's 3.1.
Bro, they're banging them for 12 points. Just for the privilege of living
also,
in.
It's crazy because my business is registered in Brooklyn and I live in Queens, and I made that mistake because Brooklyn has a bigger business tax rate than Queens does, which makes no sense.
Listen,
It's absurd.
Welcome
to Florida, Nathan.
Go to Florida Sun Business, start your shit here, close all those.
Yeah,
and here's the other thing I'm going to tell you. Bro, they're going to chase your fucking ass for probably 3 years, just like they chased me. Oh, you owe us an extra $250 because we fucked up. It's just, dude, they tax you. You don't even live there, and they're still fucking hitting you.
You know what's crazy? So during COVID, right? Like I was thinking about high earners, right? So think about guys like Bob and Frank.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they're the highest earners in that company. You know, you're talking who knows how many millions, right? And dude, they're claiming residency now here in Florida.
You
right?
have to.
So
They just gave themselves a fucking 10% raise.
Yeah, how many? Yeah, if you make $5 million a year, you just gave yourself 500 G's, right? So my thing is how many other CEOs and how many other COOs? Like, I feel like New York State has got to be in trouble in the next
100%.
The
100%.
net loss from New York State was 700. It was either 328,000 people or 728,000 people.
They've been losing money since after COVID for so long.
I think
now.
21.
They've been losing money since I was a kid.
It's got to be in trouble. Like eventually those amazing school districts in Rochester, eventually it's going to fade. That's all.
Fall apart.
There's no money there to support.
How do you live in a $250,000 house in Webster and pay $17,000 in fucking property tax?
Absurd.
It's insane.
Do you realize how high property
I have no
taxes
idea.
are in Rochester?
I mean, my parents probably pay a crazy amount of property.
Monroe
New York
County is one of the
State's kinda
highest in the
insane.
country.
Oh, it is. Yeah, no, Monroe County's nuts. But down here, like, dude, I was floored. My house is twice the size for twice the money, and I paid almost half. So like, okay, here's your tax bill. It's $8,900. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, where do I sign up?
Yeah.
You know?
We could talk about real estate for hours, but I got another life hack, and this is a good one because, Steve, you're one of the smarter people I've ever met, right? So when you came up to me and said this, that you just realized this, I was actually shocked that you weren't aware of this. I was like,
What'd I say?
the whole S&P 500 thing.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't
go. Lay it on everybody.
So there's
You're gonna change my mind. I put a lot of money in the S&P 500.
No.
Keep doing it.
Oh, okay.
Keep doing it. Okay. It's as simple as this, dude. All right. If you look at, you could take any mutual fund. You can take any mutual fund that any of your financial advisors give you, whether it's past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. You take the S&P 500.
It beats all of them.
It beats every single
Everything.
Of course.
So, but the thing is this isn't common knowledge.
Do you want to hear a joke about this? So I went to school for finance. I wanted to be a financial advisor. That was my initial goal.
Yeah.
And I had this one class, and I remember this class because it was the funniest thing ever. I had a professor who was teaching how to build a perfect portfolio. The whole class, the whole semester was building the perfect portfolio.
It was the S&P.
And then, no, even better. And then one kid asked him, what does your portfolio look like?
Wow.
And he goes, oh, I'm all in risk stocks. So how are you teaching a class about building the perfect portfolio and doing the complete opposite in your life?
Now so hear me out. When I'm telling people the S&P 500 strategy, it's to the family that's really not sure. They're not in it every single day.
Right.
Like, but the risk thing, so he's in tuned to the stock market. He's looking at it every day. Of course, those aren't risk. Those are calculated.
Dude, he's got
risks.
stop losses, puts, calls,
those are
all kind of shit.
He didn't have any though. He was
What?
horrible. Yeah, his portfolio was in the negative.
And this is your teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to New York State.
No, but like for me, I learned that at a young age. And when I was 20 years old and I started making money with like whatever jobs I was working, I was putting just like $100 a week going into the S&P. Now it's a little bit more. I'm putting like anywhere between $500 to $2,000 a week into it. But like that really doesn't do anything. I mean, you keep it in the bank or you keep it there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just a simple ETF.
Yeah. What's that?
In the S&P, it grows over time.
It's 503 common stocks, which are issued 500 large cap companies traded on American stock exchanges. So basically, the top 500 companies in America.
Yeah.
If you bet on the S&P, you're betting on the country.
And just so you know, those top 5 or so are the ones that fucking
Dragging everything.
It crushes it. I think Amazon sits at the top of their holdings, to be honest with you.
But there's Amazon, Apple, Google,
if you look at
Alphabet, whatever it is.
Berkshire, if you look at Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's 46% in Amazon, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, it's Apple. He owns like 46% of Apple. Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
No, of course.
They don't play with those small stocks.
No, they don't fuck around with
They don't
that.
play with those small stocks.
No, but okay.
That's for all the kids who try to make money on meme stocks, like
of course.
GameStop and all that.
And to be fair, some of them do.
No, I have a friend who day trades and he makes a lot of money.
Right.
He day trades. He's making like anywhere between 5 and 7K a day.
A day,
But like,
yeah.
listen, the first 3 years of his life, it was just negative portfolios, losing money, working stupid jobs just to make some money to put in there.
So for the normal person, right, or even the successful person, dude, you're over the last 10 years, nothing has beat the S&P, nothing.
And I don't want that headache of looking for stocks to pick out. I'd rather just have a reoccurring investment of $500 into that stock, and that's it.
Time is your most valuable commodity.
Exactly.
And if you're going to burn all that time researching stocks and all this shit, just put it in S&P 500 and go to sleep.
You know what the other hustle, you know what the other hustle is too? What's that? Sorry to blow up financial advisor spots here, but you know, a financial advisor, you got to remember too, they're salespeople. They're making commission. So if you ask them, sorry guys, I'm going to blow up your spot right now. So if you ask them, hey, Susie, just out of curiosity, the mutual fund and the plan that you're going to have for me, how does it stack up to the S&P 500 the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? I'd like to see that. So not only are they going to offer you a worse performing mutual fund, they're charging you more for it.
Yeah.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
Dude, and what was that thing from Wolf of Wall Street? Everyone's seen Wolf of Wall Street.
Of course.
They make 50% on penny stocks and all those little companies and stuff like that. And they make nothing, 2% on the S&P and stuff like that. So of course they're going to try to sell you the pennies, the smaller companies, because they make more money off of it.
Listen, and I love my guy, right? He's a friend.
I don't have a guy.
You don't need a guy. I don't need a guy. Listen, and I'll tell you why you might need a guy, right? Because there's benefits of working with some of these bigger houses. So my guy's amazing. I love him. But we basically bought into kind of a bear market, structured investments, probably 5 or 6 of them. They're all down fucking 20, 21%. And I'm like, buddy, what's
going on?
Right? So we just sold this house. I can park it in cash for 4.6, right? 4.6, just cash flow, right? So I'm effectively replacing an income producing property with high interest rates because the Fed is out of its fucking mind. And we're getting 4.6 on that. There's other places where you can deposit it. It's negligible, right? If I can get 5.2, fucking so what? It's another $30 a month. It doesn't matter to me. I called him up. I said, hey, I got a big chunk from this. I got a big chunk from this real estate, and I got a big chunk here. What are we gonna do? Well, there's another structure. But I said, no. I said, buddy, you're down 20%. Why the fuck would I give you another $400,000? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
No. I said, you know what? I gotta go. I'll call you back. Yeah. Right? And I don't
mean to blow up everybody's spot.
I love the guy. Yeah. I love the guy. Here's why this is one of the huge benefits of working with a larger house, such as like Morgan Stanley or Merrill Lynch or something. So if you have cash, if you have a lot of liquid, do you have a lot of liquid?
Liquid, yeah, but not in cash.
Okay, so watch this. I haven't had to apply to a bank in the last probably 5 years. I don't need a bank anymore. I'm my own bank.
He borrows from himself.
Of course. So one of the benefits of working with these is you have what's called a liquidity access line. So all the cash that you have, and even the investments you have, they designate as pledged towards this.
It's like the Rothschild thing. What the Rothschilds were doing, borrowing against themselves and stuff like that.
Well, it's just it's a smart investment. When money's cheap, it's fucking amazing. When money's expensive, it sucks. Yeah. Right. So watch this. Let's take a round number of $1 million. Put $1 million. All of your liquid and whatever you've pledged investment-wise to this fund, $1 million. They're going to write you, there's no application for this shit. They literally cut you an 80 to 90% credit line on that $1 million for whatever the LIBOR rates are. I believe it goes on LIBOR. Right? So now, if I want to go buy an investment property for $200,000, I just cut a check out of my LLL. And I just pay myself back. Fuck that bank. You understand what I'm saying? Pay your property taxes with it, anything like that. That's what I've been doing, right? So you can use this money. That's right now it's way too expensive, but when it was like 3%, dude, $200,000. Now you have a 3% mortgage that you borrow from yourself. Yeah. That's what I ended up doing. It was in hindsight, it was a terrible idea. I paid off my mortgage with the LAL. But now that the rates are adjustable, dude, it's like 8.5%. That's
good.
But no, that's what I spent the first half of the year doing, is just paying down my debt. Now it's almost zero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that's good.
That's a little life hack.
That's a good one. I learned that from my Brazilian friends. They're like 40 and retired and just travel. I don't think there's any countries they haven't been to. I think they've literally visited every country on the planet. It's wild.
I have friends who really put their total belief in financial advisors. Some of my closest friends, and I'm not gonna. Once again, I'm gonna stay away from names, but I think the woman makes $500,000 a year, $600,000 a year, and they just trust their financial advisor, and they say, "Oh, we're gonna do this and this," and I'm like, "Dude, you should just talk to me for 5 minutes." I'll set you up.
If I'm down 3%,
why would you put more in?
Okay,
yeah,
I'm down 3%, and I said, "What the fuck?" It's like, well, the market's down 20, and I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Your job is to not lose me money, bro.
No, of course.
I get it. Look, and again, I think I shit on the structured investments a little bit.
Yeah.
There's so many components to them that it's not going to be a loss of principle, but on paper it looks that way. Okay, because you get a coupon payment. If it doesn't, here's a good example: the Tesla one, right? We bet on Tesla. You think Tesla's going to lose 30% in the next 3 years? No. So right. So you give them $70,000. You're going to make 11.3% every quarter on that $70,000, and it just fucking gets deposited. It's an income play. Of course. Yeah. Okay. When 3 years is up, the option is over. Yeah. You get your $70,000 back if it goes less than 30%. If it loses 30.1%. You lose that 1.1%. Yeah. That's what you're losing on your principal. So yes, it looks on paper like it's worth 20% less, but it's really not. Yeah. But it's cool. I don't like that strategy. I want to be liquid because when shit hits the fan, the guy sitting with the most cash fucking wins.
Yeah. Of course. I wouldn't even say the cash part of it, but just the guy who's the most liquid.
Liquid, right.
Yeah,
right.
The guy who's just the most liquid or who can liquidate his assets the fastest.
Right.
Because you know what I mean? And that's what matters in this world. It doesn't really matter what you have and stuff. It's how quickly can you liquidate if something goes wrong.
So here's ready, just to be the contrarian here, right? With all this, so everybody, we can't look on TikTok or Instagram without seeing, oh, the crash is coming. Dude, I've been hearing this for a while now.
Yeah.
And I'm a what you would call a conspiracy theorist. Okay. Maybe they prop up this economy for the next decade.
This is my real opinion on all of that, and this is what I told you too.
Yeah, you're the finance guy.
I don't get into politics. I don't get into news for the simple reason that I don't need to worry about that stuff, right? Yeah. It's not going to make a difference for me. I mean, I understand, and I told you this earlier too. I don't have the money or the time or the willingness to make the change.
Right. Well,
so
the
why
other
would
side
I make
of it
myself
is,
worry about that?
Nate, we operate in a recession-proof environment.
Exactly.
In fact, when shit is worse, we do better.
Exactly. For me, let's say a company that we take on in the agency, right? If it's a recession or if it's not a recession, if they're making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month, it doesn't matter for them. They don't care if it's a recession or if it's not a recession. And for me, that's one less thing that has to be on my head. Yeah. That's one less thing I have to talk about. Turning on the news, watching. I don't need that in my life. You know what I mean? So, all this news and all this stuff on TikTok is, if you're starting or you're trying to get up and going, I would cut all of it out completely. Yeah. You don't need to know that stuff. People think, I need to know this, I need to know. You don't need to know any of that stuff.
Well,
you need to laser focus on whatever your goal is.
I agree.
One of the best things I ever did, bro, was take Instagram off my phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
It went like a year without it. It was awesome. I didn't even miss it.
Yeah,
there's nothing. Dude, Facebook is fucking pointless right now.
Yeah, and
it's pointless. Completely pointless.
People think it's crazy when I tell them that sometimes I don't have TikTok or Instagram on my phone. I just don't have it. When I'm in that serious work mode, I don't need those things.
It's just another distraction.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, oh, but you're posting. It's not me. Somebody who works in the company is putting up the post. Right.
I just see them as, it's so crazy since I've been on them for the past year with my marketing. Right. That's how I view them now. I don't view them as recreational tools. I look at them as marketing tools.
It's a business tool.
And that's it. So a lot of times people DM me and stuff on there, and I don't even get to their things that they send. When you send, I maybe check your stuff every other day, not every couple of minutes, No,
I dedicate 30 minutes when I first wake up, shaking the cobwebs off.
Ooh, I think that's bad. I don't like to look at my phone in the
morning. No. And I know why. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Right. So first thing I do when I wake up is I check numbers, make sure everything's where the fuck it's supposed to be. And then I'll go to my little Instagram inbox and look at all the funny, ridiculous shit my friends send me. So I laugh. Then I'll laugh. Yeah. And then I'll hit Facebook and it's just, so-and-so has a birthday because I haven't posted. I don't post shit on that anymore, bro. It's pointless.
I don't even have Facebook.
Right. So that's what I do. I dedicate about a half an hour. I shake off the cobwebs. Then I go. I suck down my 350 milligrams of caffeine. I eat whatever testosterone shit I got to eat, and then I go to the gym. And then when I get home, I suck down protein shake. I take a shower and I lock myself in my office and I just work, bro.
That's what I do. Like an energy drink right in the morning before you go work out.
My pre-workout.
That's basically your coffee.
Yeah.
You don't drink coffee?
Dude, I haven't drank
I drink
coffee,
but I don't do pre-workout. I don't do anything before I go to the gym.
Oh, you're crazy,
I wake up, brush my teeth, go straight to the gym.
buddy. I am.
Is that what you do first thing in the morning?
So yeah, I wake up, I get dressed, go straight to the gym, and I'm not going to the gym to be the biggest guy in the gym. I go to the gym because I just feel good after doing it.
Yeah.
I feel good the rest of the day because I sit most of the day. If
I
I'm being honest.
rage. I rage. I'm sucking down that fucking thing and I'm driving and you get there and
I
I'm
worked
like,
out with him yesterday. He definitely makes some grunts in the gym. It's fucking
He's the banging and screaming and yelling guy.
a couple, not too bad.
The audio quality's too good for that.
Listen. We're at 54 minutes. What do you want to do? You want to end with the Target shit? And poor Nate.
That's a long conversation.
I know. We keep doing this.
How about you, Nate? Anything?
You guys, you got more life hacks and stuff like that? We can talk more about that.
Well,
I got a couple. If you want, I got a couple more.
Yeah. Let's hear from the young buck.
A big one for me, and like especially with the young people now and stuff, is like thinking in second order consequence, right? So like a lot of people, and this is where they lose a lot of their time and stuff, is like they'll buy the TV, they'll buy the PS5, they'll buy the video games, and they'll think it's that initial investment. But what you're really losing is your time. And what you're really losing by buying that $3,000 TV and the gaming console and everything is the ability to use that time to work on something else because you spent the money, so now you're going to use it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I have a TV in my house. It's not even plugged in.
Right.
I don't have time to watch it.
You're all business. It's
Bro,
pretty
at 22,
impressive. It's pretty impressive.
Dude, do you remember me talking about the kids that are like 18 and 25 right now? That that are
Can't even look you in the eye.
bro. That are executing and B understand.
But it is so
You're an
easy.
anomaly,
It
bro.
is so easy to win right now.
You're a fucking unicorn.
Like it is so easy to win.
That's
right
what
now.
I was telling him. That
Like,
was my point.
The
Dude,
kids that I'm competing against
you're eating
are
their
a
lunch.
joke.
You're eating
Are
their
a
lunch.
joke.
Soft, dude.
There's very few people who are competing at this level, and it's because everyone else is either stuck to their phone, scared and living with mommy and daddy, or doesn't know what to do and will never
damn
change.
video games.
or high as fuck on weed all day long.
Exactly. And if you're not doing that, you're winning. If you're not doing that, and
This
like
kid's
the
a
biggest thing
monster.
is like I
This kid's a
get
beast.
super addicted to things. Like it's good and bad, right? But like for me, this is a video game.
It is.
This is why would I want to go and play GTA and play these video games when I can go and drive the car?
Yeah.
Why would I want to go buy the house in the game when I can go and buy the house? Like this is the game that you play now, and people realize that later on in life. But like if you can get ahead earlier, then you're ahead. But getting ahead doesn't mean watching all this content and stuff like that and not doing anything. It means actually doing the stuff.
Right.
So I wanted to, and I think I might have said this. I hope I didn't say this on another podcast because I don't want to be repetitive. But you like Gary Vee?
I do.
You like Gary Vee?
Yeah, of
Obviously,
course.
Gary Vee's a man. So I think I said this on another podcast. I really hope I didn't. But basically, I'll summarize it. Gary Vee basically said, and he works like an animal, okay? And he was working like an animal from 18 to 22. He went to college full time. And then during his off hours, he was trying to help build that wine business, his father's wine business. And he took it from $3 million to $60 million. So he was all school and then working on this wine business, okay? And he was asked, they said, do you have any regrets? Okay, do you have any regrets about the work ethic? And he goes, I actually do. He goes, I wish I would have, sorry, babe. He goes, I wish I would have fucked a few more girls, and I wish I would have done a couple drugs. And I'm not telling you guys to go out and do drugs and be as promiscuous. But what I'm saying is there's also like, listen, you can be. I'm not saying you,
no,
but you can be too hyper focused on things, and like your life just can't be all business either.
So let me actually,
you know what I'm saying?
See, I actually go the opposite.
Like the 90-10 rule.
I want to come to him about this because you said you can't be hyper focused. I have stages in my life and especially in the year where I'm very hyper focused, where I won't do anything but work. It'll be 6 to 7 months. But then after those stages are over, I party like a fucking animal.
Good for you. Yeah.
I drink like a fucking animal. I party like crazy because that's my time to relax. And then I'll have, 6-7 months of super hard work, 3 months of that like in super insane partying. and then another 3 months of like intermediary where this is like my intermediary where I'm going to meeting you guys, I'm traveling. I'm not super focused on business at this time. But it's a focus, but I'm not like super into it. But also I feel like a big part of what you said is like people drinking stuff. I got a lot of that out at a very young age. I was like
you're 22. What are you talking about?
I moved out of my parents' house at like 17, 18. No, like 17, 18, I moved out of my parents' house.
You Ukrainians start drinking early.
I was traveling like when I was like 16, 17, drinking 18, 19 in college. I was partying every weekend and it just got boring.
I think I have a theory too, and I've seen this happen. Like, I think as men, I'm talking to all the men right now, if you have that itch and that urge to be promiscuous and be experimental, go do it, get it out of the way. Get it out of your system, because I have seen some horror stories of people that don't, and then they end up getting a little drug problem at age 32. And then they end up, getting a little promiscuous problem, and that next thing you know, they're bringing an STD home to their lady. And I've just really seen some ugly stuff. So my thing is and it sounds like you got rid of the itch early, but get it out of the way. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my take. And he's absolutely right. He's eating the lunch of every single fucking 22-year-old man. Cool. Okay. Here's my take. And Gary Vee, I think Gary Vee said this too, right? Eat shit, just fucking eat shit for 5 years. Eat shit for 5 years. And I'm not saying eat shit. What I'm saying is put your fucking head down, work, network, learn a fucking skill, learn how to communicate, learn how to make money. There's no fucking excuse for poverty in this world right now. There's none. Okay? Eat shit for 5 years. Don't come up for air until you got $100,000 liquid cash and all your fucking bills paid, because guess what happens? You pick up your head at 25 years old.
You don't have shit.
Every single female that age is at their prime. You're now a valuable 25-year-old. Most of these 25-year-old women go for 40, 45-year-old men because we're fucking millionaires. We've already done it all. We're interesting. We can afford to do whatever the fuck it is that you want to do. And a 25-year-old kid that sits at home, smokes weed, plays fucking Call of Duty all day long, can't.
She couldn't even have a normal conversation with 20. She's 26.
No, you can't.
She couldn't have a conversation with a 27-year-old guy.
So that's
I struggle
like
talking
an intimate
to guys
one.
my age. I'm going to be honest with you. I really struggle talking to guys my age unless they're exactly like me. Like unless they're wired like me, it's very hard for me to keep a serious conversation.
So that's the advice. My question is, how do you get wired that way? For you, at a 22-year-old man, I know what happened to me.
You're Ukrainian. Do you feel like there's something?
I feel like maybe so. Yes and no, right? So maybe something about my heritage and stuff like that, but also just like your upbringing. And I'm super big in environment and stuff like that. And it's where you're brought up, right? So like my family wasn't poor, but they weren't like rich. Like I wasn't, like one bedroom, everything like that. But like we had decent amount of money, but I was always the kid who like didn't have the nicest shoes or like didn't have that. But my parents, I'm never going to say that they did anything wrong with me, but moving out at a young age, getting to live my life and do whatever I wanted at a young age, and learning all those things.
Not to cut you off. Did you go to college?
Yeah, I graduated college.
Okay. So it's interesting. Where'd you go to college? And okay,
St. John's, yeah.
Do you think it, and I don't mean to cut you off, I'm so sorry,
go ahead.
but I'm just trying to, do you think it was valuable or not?
You can say it. We know.
It's pretty wild, right? Like, it's one of the biggest hustles in the country.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
And she came around with me, like she was insulted when I first met her, because how much did you spend at Ithaca? $100,000?
I didn't pay for college. I didn't pay for college at all. I went for free. Nice. So in my case, I would say no.
It was time.
It wasn't a scam. It was my time. But also, the more and more I went into college, my first 2 years was drinking, barely passing classes, girls, and everything you can do. The third year when COVID hit for me was like my holy shit. Like I got to figure something out. And then my last year was all just work, school, build the business, work, school, build the business. And like,
I think college is fine. I just don't think 17-year-old men and women should be pressured to do it, to take out $100,000 a day. That's what kills me.
Yeah, you should. The argument is always that it's not worth the money that you're paying for. So it's worth the money that you're paying for if you're going for certain degrees.
Correct.
If you're going for medical, if you're going for half of my family's in the medical field, so they needed to go to college.
Doctor, lawyer, engineer.
For business, for business,
B school's the biggest scam going.
Yeah. Think of this scam. Think of this scam. You're 18 years old. No, you're not allowed to drink, but you're emotionally not allowed to drink because you can't handle it. But you're emotionally allowed to take out $160,000.
Of course. Because now you're a debt slave. That's exactly what
exactly.
I want.
We went back to the slavery point. They got you in debt. You're a slave. Because now look, if I came out of college with debt, I think my path would have been very different. I probably would have stayed at my job for a lot longer than I did. But I was lucky to not come out with that. So,
and I think that's one of the reasons why I was re-watching some of the episodes, and I'm telling you, dude, I try to take all of my fucking best friends on this journey. But I failed out of school. I still had student loan debt. But
don't get me started.
These guys had $100,000 in debt. They have a solid paying job. They're paying down their. They couldn't take the fucking risk, dude.
You don't know how many of my friends I've tried to quote unquote save. Like
take them with you.
I use the connections that I have. Like my friend, he's in trading, and thank God he's doing good now. But like I picked him up. I put him in these courses. I put him with my connections that I have in this area. I grew him to that. And then I've done it with other friends, and you can try to help somebody as much as you can. Yep. If they don't want it themselves, they're not going to do it.
Exactly. If it ain't in them, it ain't in them. Yep. Nathan, we're sitting at $104. Tell us where the listeners can find more about you.
Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It's official Nathan V, and that's it.
Sweet. We'll put those in the video, man. What else you got? You got any closing remarks?
No, I don't think so. Nathan, man, just hanging out with you beforehand, I learned a lot from you, dude. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Of course, the same.
Yeah. Sorry I was late, guys. I had some things to do, but we're gonna eat. We're gonna eat a little Mario's chicken parm, dude, and then we'll pick the young Nathan's brains a little bit more. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Burgers with Eric podcast. 2 episodes on Spotify on Monday and YouTube on Saturday.